So this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. So if you haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet, do not watch this video. Go play the game. If you really don't care, then stick around. Apparently, one of the writers that worked on Spider-Man 2 is claiming that the next Spider-Man game will feature Miles Morales as the main Spider-Man. Now, if you beat the game, you would know at the end, Peter basically hands Miles the torch for Miles to take over as Spider-Man while Peter is off working on his other endeavors. And I played the game. I actually platinumed the game. I had fun with the game. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, there was some woke stuff in the game, but it wasn't bad enough to the point that it made me dislike the game. I was under the impression that the next Spider-Man game would be a solo Miles Morales game that would just focus on him, and then they would give us Spider-Man 3 again with Peter and Miles together, because when you market a game as Spider-Man, everybody's assuming it's Peter Parker. Spider-Man 2 features two Spider-Mans, but I still look at it more as Peter's story, because that's how OG fans of Spider-Man are always going to look at it, as Peter Parker is the one true Spider-Man. So I feel like this is going to rub people the wrong way, because they can easily just make a separate Miles Morales game, and then Spider-Man 3, you could have both of them together again. Like, Miles is a part of the story for Spider-Man 2, but to me, Spider-Man 2 was really Peter's story. So let's hop into this article, see what they're talking about. Insomniac Games' Brittany Morris and Ben Arfman on creating the twists and turns throughout the Marvel Spider-Man 2 story campaign. Like the original Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales before it, the recently released Spider-Man 2 is a bombastic superhero journey with two Spider-Man on hand in Peter Parker and Miles Morales. This seems like a long article and they're going into other things. I really want to focus on what they were talking about as far as the next Spider-Man. Okay, I think it's right here. You said earlier you basically knew right away that you wanted playable Venom, which that part of the game, that was awesome. It's like they read the fans' minds and they knew that we really wanted to play as Venom. Like, that was something that I was hoping for when the trailer first released for Spider-Man 2. I was like, yo, it would be amazing if we get to play as Venom. And the fact that they let you play as Venom, bro, we need more of that. And there are talks that they might be working on a spin-off for Venom. I actually would be more interested in that than Spider-Man 3 as Miles Morales being the main Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. I like Miles Morales. You know, he got OP powers. It's fun to play as him. But to me, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And if you're going to do Spider-Man 3, it has to be his story. If you want to move on from Peter after that and let Miles be the main one, fine. That's cool. Or you could just make Miles separate. They gave us a Miles Morales game. Just make him separate. If you want to play as Miles as the main Spider-Man, make it a separate game. Anyway, Morris said, "It always felt natural, and I think we all collectively thought it would happen. To me, it shows a great deal of evolution for Miles. At the beginning of the game, we see him struggling to figure out what he wants to do with his life. By the end, we had Miles carrying the burden of saving the city, and also carrying Pete when Pete wasn't strong enough to carry himself at various points." That was one thing I didn't like about the game. Like, when Miles is fighting symbiote Spider-Man and trying to convince Peter to, like, fight it and to, you know, remove the suit, I felt like Spider-Man was strong enough to do it on his own in the comics and the movies. Like, why we had to have Miles be the one to, like, snap him out of that? I didn't like that. And then back to the article. That's what's been so cool about writing a story about two Spider-Men. They're both strong, and one of them can be strong when the other is not. By the end, Miles is more confident, and he's like, yeah, I got this. How much worse can things get after what we just went through? To echo what Brittany said, the idea of two Spider-Man story was always really essential to this game. I think pretty early on, we knew that we wanted to have that moment of handing the reins over, and as we developed it, as we started to lay down more track leading up to that moment, it just felt more and more right. I think it was John who wrote that scene in Aunt May's garage, and it's one of my favorite scenes. The way that Miles intuits exactly what Peter's thinking and stops him from stumbling through trying to hand over the mask. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I really don't like the fact that they're going to try to sideline Peter. And I get it. Like, this version of Spider-Man, he's been Spider-Man for a long time. The first Spider-Man game, he's Spider-Man for like 10 years already. So he has the history. But I feel like there's so much story to explore with Peter that they haven't even scratched the surface of yet. You know, we still got Green Goblin that hasn't showed up yet, which that really doesn't make no sense that this Spider-Man been Spider-Man for 10 years and he hasn't faced Green Goblin yet. At the end of the game, they're hinting that Green Goblin is going to somehow work with Doc Ock again, and they're going to do something crazy. They can't do the Sinister Six because that was in the first game. So it's like, the only logical step is to make Green Goblin the villain that knows about Peter. He finds out that Peter is Spider-Man and he blames him for what happened to Harry. like in the movies almost. Well, the movies was a little bit different because it was Harry that found out that Peter was Spider-Man, and he felt like he had something to do with his dad's death. So they might switch it. They'll make it that Harry in the video games finds out Peter is Spider-Man and he thinks he's responsible for what happened to Harry. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Norman. Yeah, man. I just hope that they don't try to woke it up too much, man. There was a couple woke things in this game and I didn't like it. But again, like I said, it wasn't too bad that it made me hate the game. Because if it would have been the whole game was like that, bro, I would have been annoyed. And it would have really made me dislike the game. Like, I don't care how fun it is. If you're going to keep shoving shit down our throats, bro, we play games to get away from reality. We don't need to be reminded of reality while we're trying to get away from it in video games. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts, man. Are y'all looking forward to the next game? Have you played the game? Did you enjoy it? And what would you rather have more, Venom or Miles Morales in Spider-Man 3? Anyway, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's your boy Dollars. This the Dollar Cast. I'm off this.